Hey, what's going on, guys? All right, so today we're going to talk about the 15 versus the 30-year mortgage. So this is a conversation that comes up lots. I see it on social media all the time. I get into it in my personal life lots in different circles that I'm in. And a lot of people are huge advocates for the 15-year mortgage. So, and like it's people that I know. I know what their goals are. I know what they're trying to get. And a lot of them are looking for cash flow. And I just wanted to come on here and kind of explain some of the back end numbers on like how it all works and different venues that you can take when you're looking for cash flow and paying it off quick in a rental property. So we're gonna assume the purchase price is 300,000. That leaves you a down payment of 60,000, 20%. So one thing to note is if you do less than 20% in Canada, you aren't eligible for a 30-year. So like that's fairly important. Principal that leaves you with a principal of 240,000. We'll assume the interest rate is 3%. So on a 15-year, your minimum payment is 1655 a month. Like that is the minimum. Like that's the base. That's the minimum that you can pay no matter what. So like when you're talking cash flow and you're looking for cash flow, that's a huge difference in the amount of payment versus a 30-year. So that definitely affects your bottom line, and I'll touch on that in a few minutes. So we're gonna assume the extra payment is zero. Term length obviously 15 years. Total interest is $60,000 paid over the 15 years. So that is impressive. So I do see the appeal of this, but your total payments are about 300,000. So say you're 40 years old, you buy a rental property, you have it paid off by the time you're 55. And I get it. If you're working a 9 to 5 and you have other income coming in and you're not worried about the cash flow so much, it's fine. But a lot of people like are looking to scale, and they do want like they want both. They want to pay the loan down quick, but they do want cash flow too. So to a lot of those people, this is what I say. So we'll go over to the 30-year. So your base payments are $1,000 a month. Like that's your minimum. That's a huge difference from here. That's a $645 difference, right? So, and then what you can do, like say you buy a rental property, say they're both the same property, say it's cash flowing really well, say it's cash flowing whatever, 1,200 or well, the cash flow would actually be different on your principal, but if you do extra payments, but say for this one, you're actually cash flowing at 1,200 a month. Say it's a good rental property and really nice net cash flow. So you actually put an extra 1,000 on it, and you're putting into reserve 200 a month. Like that's very very powerful. Or say in the slower times, you dial it back to even out. So now you're doing a 1655 payment by adding 645 to the payment on the 30-year, and then that actually brings you down to 15 years in 1 month, the way that works out. So if you were to do a 30-year but actually pay it off quicker with the same payments, like that is a possibility. So one thing to note on this is look at your mortgage documents, because every mortgage will cap you. Most mortgages will cap you at what you're allowed to pay without an additional penalty. So that's something to note. But yeah, say it's cash flowing really well. You're putting an extra 1,000 a month on it. That takes you down to 11 years and 10 months. Like it's very, very powerful. So that's a term reduction of 18 years, and you shave another 15,000, almost 12,000 or whatever it works out to, off your total interest paid. And then your total payment is 284. Extra payments of 142,000. So you're saving $80,000. So you're 40 when you buy this, and say you'd be less than 52 when it's paid off. So that is like that's nicer than the additional 3 and whatever years for the 15-year. So one thing with this is the one thing I like about this and why we do this in our own portfolio is because the flexibility. Your minimum payment's 1,000, but you can bump it up if you need. And say it's December and I have a roof going in one of my single families in the spring, and there's a water heater on its way out that's probably going to go in a few months. I can actually dial this payment back to 1,000 a month, and I can just start pulling into reserve that extra 1,200 a month. You know, so I'm actually building up my additional, like I already have a reserve account in place, but I'm actually topping it up because I see these expenses coming. So then when these expenses hit, like say in March or April or whenever you would do it, you actually have it paid off. So you technically don't even touch your original reserve fund, you know, like, and that's the power of this. Like it's just, I love the flexibility with it. So, but it does depend where you are in your personal life. Like a lot of people, like say I was 45 years old and I was buying my first rental property, I would still do a 30-year just for that reason. Number one, I probably have a 9 to 5. I have additional income coming in through there. I would be able to Basically, like even if I wanted to keep the extra 1,000, like double payment, and I ran a negative cash flow of 200 a month, say, I could actually subsidize my income with my 9 to 5 just to keep that 11-year term, by shaving 18 years off. So I hope that made sense. Hopefully I didn't overcomplicate that. But yeah, I'm a huge advocate for the 30 year. I think it's a great product. And if you can do that and put the extra payments on and hammer that principal down, and then you can couple that with a line of credit too. There's ways to do that. So that actually the spread, like your margin basically essentially grows at a rapid pace and it's all available in a line of credit. And then you can actually leverage it out on other properties. But you have to watch your leverage ratios in your portfolio. You don't want to overextend yourself and all that stuff. But I'll do another video on that maybe. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hit that subscribe button if you like it, and I'll see you guys later.